Right now, there's a young boy in a country town somewhere who is working out who he's attracted to, and I want to talk to him. And there's a girl at a high school who wants to take her girlfriend to the school formal, and I want to talk to her. And I want to say that every young person has a place here. Every young person belongs. If you're attracted to someone of the same gender as you, that's fine. If you don't feel like the sex that you're born as matches your gender, that's okay. You're okay. And there are people here in Parliament and people in the community who feel the same way as you. And there are people who understand. And in fact, there's people, in fact, the majority of people, who accept you for who you are. And there's people who can help, like the Safe Schools Coalition. It is just a pity that our Prime Minister does not agree. Our Prime Minister has been prepared to sell out to the Conservative brotherhood that still runs the Liberal National Party and the Coalition. Our Prime Minister's commitment to same-sex attracted people turns out to be only skin deep, because he has been prepared to place the Safe Schools program under review, not because the program wasn't doing its job, not because the program was running over budget, but solely because the hard-right grubs in his government asked him to do so. He has sold out when he didn't have to do so. And if you want to mark one of the many days that this Prime Minister has been prepared to give up on so-called progressive beliefs to keep the hard right of his party happy, you need to look no further than the day that he was willing to potentially put the welfare of young people at risk for cheap political advantage. Now, school is tough for everyone. School is tough for everyone. People know that. Parents know that. Anyone who's been to school knows that. But when you understand that same-sex attracted people are 14 times more likely to commit suicide when they're young, 14 times more likely, you understand that there is a need to provide them with support during that particular tough time. And that is what the Safe Schools program does. So Cory Bernadi, Eric Abetz, George Christensen, Andrew Nikolic, Andrew Hastie, Luke Simpkins, who came out today and said that somehow the Safe Schools program is bullying heterosexual people, you should be ashamed of yourselves. How dare you use your platform as elected representatives to tell young people who aren't like you that somehow they're not okay, that they don't belong, and that they deserve to have abuse hurled at them. And if you want an indication about why we don't need a plebiscite on marriage equality and what is going to come down the line if it happens, just look no further than what we have seen so far. That is just a taste of what's to come and the message that is going to be sent to young people who need our support, because all young people have a hard time working out who they are. All young people have a hard time working out what they want. And so when we know that there are a group of young people who are 14 times more likely to commit suicide because of who they're attracted to, we should be extending a helping hand and offering extra help. We should not be showing them a closed fist from this parliament. And that is what we are seeing from the hard right who still seems to run this party. And one of the worst things is this Prime Minister didn't have to do this. The Prime Minister didn't have to do it, but he chose to. And what kind of message is this Prime Minister sending when he chooses to single out a program that has got widespread community support and that has been doing its job? We have seen young person after young person come out over the last few days and say, because of the Safe Schools program, I felt like I belonged. I felt like I belonged. At a time when I felt alone, at a time when I was considering whether I should take my own life, this program made me feel like I belonged. And what does the government do? The government says, well, that's the kind of program we think we should put under review. For no other reason than that some homophobes in their party have said, we don't like the message that is being sent. I want to make people know that you have support You are loved.
I thank the member for Melbourne. The question is that the Federation Chamber do now adjourn, and I call the member for Corangamite.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Before I speak about some wonderful opportunities in the Corangamite electorate in terms of the job creation initiatives and policies that we are rolling out, I just want to briefly reflect on the member for Melbourne's contribution. And while I respect his position to have a view, it's important that he doesn't denigrate any members, and it's a pity that he can't make an argument without actually making a personal denigration. So your name calling is inappropriate. Could you please not interject what I'm just simply saying?
Member for Corangamite, would you resume your seat, please?
The denigration of members does not advance your cause.
Resume your seat, please, member for Corangamite. The member is entitled to be heard in silence. The member for Melbourne, I just ask that the member for Corangamite be held in silence. Thank you. Be heard in silence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's my great pleasure to rise and speak about some wonderful